Brother, I know it feels like you're on a lifelong losing streak, but the man you're becoming is worth the war you're fighting. So keep swinging.
One thing you can't escape is that to be good at anything, you got to put the hours in. It is hard work.
Hard work is the goal. And so it's not like work hard so that X, because as soon as you have a so that, then the X is the thing. But if the goal is to work as hard as you possibly can, then the only real output we have is who we become along the way.
Every day is a battle because your mind wants to choose the path of least resistance. Every day. But you don't become better by ever doing that. You become normal. And I don't want to be normal. Everybody has a wall in their mind. It's a wall, and it stops us from going further. Most walls have a door or a window. You have to find that. You have to have the courage to find that. And once you open that door or that window, you'll realize how much further you can go.
And when you look at this world full of actors playing these games, you don't get angry, you don't get upset, you don't say, God, I wish everything was different, I wish people would just be who they are. You just enjoy it. It's like you're watching a play, you're watching a movie, and you're seeing people be an actor, and you're seeing people pretend to be this, and it's amusing, and you don't take anything in this world personally. None of it's personal, right? If somebody says something mean to you, it's not about you, it's about themselves and about their own problems. So it's kind of like it's a game. Power is like a game that people are playing. And if you have some distance from it, if you observe the game, it's much more interesting and it's much easier to navigate than if you take everything personally and if you're upset by everything around you. No, people are playing a part. It's a game and you're just enjoying playing and watching the game and playing it well.
God is not going to answer your prayers. And honestly, he shouldn't. A lazy man is a man who prays for things he's not willing to sweat for. He kneels at night begging for purpose while he numbs himself with entertainment. He asks for strength while he avoids anything that builds it. Prays for love while he gives into lust. And he begs for success while he refuses to pay the price for it. Proverbs 14:23 teaches us, in all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. And God hears your prayers, but he blesses your hands. Don't be the lazy man who prays for strength but avoids struggles. Strength is not just given. You have to earn it. So close your eyes and pray, then open them and build.
No one cheers you for not drinking for a day, not smoking on a long drive, or not overeating for one night. No single workout or meal is ever impressive on its own. The reason so few people understand success is consistency never looks impressive in the moment, only at the end.
The fastest way to drastically start improving your life is by just taking on more responsibility. At your job, in the gym, in your relationships, the more you do, the more reps you're dedicating to building a stronger self-perception. Too many of us feel beaten down and hopeless because we don't feel like we're actually in control of our own lives. You can convince yourself your entire life that you're weak and incapable by design, but what if the only reason why you hold that belief is because you've never put yourself in a situation that truly challenged you, pushed you, and required more of you? Your perception of everything external is and will always be a direct reflection of your internal state. The world will always feel like an unknown and volatile place because your internal self feels just as unfamiliar. So familiarize yourself by giving just a little bit more in every aspect of your life. It doesn't have to be goal-driven, it's just about growing trust in your ability to overcome. Start running, not necessarily just because you want to lose weight, but because you said you would. And there's so much value in staying in that zone of personal commitment. Once again, familiarity in that zone of personal commitment. And it all starts by taking on more today just for the sake of taking on more today. You will be shocked at how much your perception of your life will change in such a short period of time just because your perception of yourself did.
You are going to pay a price. Now, whether you pay that price now or whether you pay that price later, that price is going to be paid. Paying the price now means doing what you need to do right now to build that version of yourself that's going to create the life that you desire in the future. And there's a reward for paying that price up front. And then there's people who choose to pay it later. Those are people who say, I'm in my 20s. My 20s should be spent having fun. And those people pay a price, but they pay it later. Right now, they're having fun. Right now, they're carefree, but they're destroying their future. And by the time they get to be 35 or 40 or 50 years old, they're going to be pinned into an existence that they cannot tolerate.
But I have good news. Nothing hard lasts forever. There's only 3 things that can happen. You either quit, it gets easier, or you get better. So no matter what, it always ends. You only lose when you quit before you see it all the way through. And I think that's incredibly encouraging. So no matter how hard whatever it is that you're doing is, but no matter how hard it is, you either quit, it gets easier because something changes externally, or you get harder, something changes internally. But no matter what, it will end. Think about it like you're mining for gold, right? You're chiseling away underground and you've got this pile of gold. You don't know how far away it is, but it's underground and you're digging towards it. This difficulty of swinging the pickaxe can end when 1, you walk out of the mine and say. The second is that all of a sudden you hit a soft patch and then you're like, oh my God, I'm digging so much faster now. This is great. And then you get to the gold. Or you just start swinging the axe harder because you get more muscled, you get more efficient with your movements, and you just keep chiseling away, even if it goes from dirt to rock. You just keep chiseling away at a slower pace, but you eventually break through and get there. But in all 3 of those scenarios, hard doesn't last forever.
Everyone talks about balance. If you can balance your life, you're good. If you can make sure that your work and play are balanced, life isn't going to be about balance. You'll find that if you find someone that forces you to sit on the teeter-totter of life, and you find your feet dangling, you'll have no solid ground. No, you're not here to take sides. You're here for the takeover. It's time for you to go after every one of your dreams in such a way that no one can question what it is you want. You want it all. Not for you, but just for everything that comes after you. For your bloodline and for those who had the right to trust your mind. Those who understood that there was something different about you. You're doing it for them. For everyone that believes that no is an absolute, you have to break through and show them that on the way through all those no's is an absolute yes. But it must bring out your best. And if you're not willing to be tested, you're not willing to have a testimony. But if you can get a testimony, it means you have a story. And when you tell that story, here comes the glory.
For those of you out there going through tough times right now, facing adversity and some uncertainty in your life, I just want to remind you that you've had big goals, you've had big dreams, you've had big ambitions. And when God or the universe, whoever your higher power is about to set you up to achieve and receive those big goals, dreams, and ambitions that you've set yourself up for, he's got to first test you. He's got to first put you up against adversity. Adversity is the resistance that you build your mental and emotional and gratitude muscles against, right? We go to the gym, you work out, you build your physical muscles. Don't forget that we have to build our mental, emotional, and gratitude muscles so that when we receive the blessings, when we receive the good things that are to come, that you can appreciate them better. So the adversity you're experiencing now, there's a reason behind it. Keep pushing through and you will receive the benefits, but it's never on your timeline.
You know what's the worst thing for your heart and your mind is when you fail, when you get rejected, when you fall, is to complain about it. Because now what you did is you just gave complaining life. And it's funny, when you give complaining life, what does it do? It attracts other individuals that complain.
Find meaning in the struggle, and the struggle will become meaningful. Find meaning in the challenge, and you'll start to become grateful for the challenges that arise in your life. And what's the meaning? The meaning is to develop you into the best version of yourself. The meaning is for you to grow and evolve. Find that meaning in everything that you go through. And it's not always going to make sense to you on why you're going through this certain thing. Finding meaning does not mean making sense of it. So often when we try to make sense of everything that happens to us, we create more resistance, more frustration. embrace it and find meaning in it. So I'm going to embrace what this is. But I'm open to learning. I'm open to the growth. I'm open to the shifts that can come from this. And I'm gonna assign meaning to the situation as an opportunity for me to develop.
People want their life to be free of struggle and conflict. They want a smooth path in front of them. When you face adversity or things aren't going quite well, you have to reassess who you are. You have to reassess your opinions. You have to say, maybe I'm not doing this the right way. Maybe my patterns of responding in the past aren't working out. Maybe there's something wrong with me. How can I learn from this moment? How can I get past this particular obstacle? If you never have failure, if you never have conflict, you are never going to develop yourself in life. So conflict is something you must welcome as a test and a challenge and a way to strengthen yourself up, because life is harsh, life is difficult. And if you're not tough in this world, you're going to have a life of pain.
Comfort zone is killing you, and it is painful to watch. And it's not even a big dramatic battle that you're losing, but a slow, silent, unnoticed death of your potential. And in some ways, that's even more sad. It's like watching someone blow out a candle for the final time. No explosion, just darkness. Every time you hit snooze, every time you break a promise to yourself, every time you choose comfort over discipline, another piece of you fades. Until one day, there is nothing left. No fire, no drive, just the sour aftertaste of regret and bitterness. But here's the thing, you're not dead yet. The flame is not out. You've still got fight left in you. And guess what? There is nothing better than a comeback story. Start now. Small steps every day. I promise you, as soon as you gain some momentum, it will get easier. Hell, it will become fun. Just promise me you will not let the flame go out.
This is the idea that most people walk down this path that isn't really theirs. They're handed this default path, this default definition of success, these default settings of meaning, and accept them as their own and march blindly down that path. And they wake up in 50 years and maybe wonder what the hell they just did with their one life that they got a shot at. You are the hero in your hero's journey. That is not a grandiose statement. That is true. You get one shot at all of this. So engage in something that matters to you.
I like it when the water is warm in the shower, but I built the muscle that allows me to turn it this way to make it cold, to build that muscle of doing the hard thing. I never want to go for the run. I like how I feel after. And I have to force myself to do it. I have to push myself to do it. And I built the muscle that not just pushes myself to do it, but also pushes myself while I'm doing it to go further or to go faster. And it's that same muscle that I draw on when I find my attention wandering. You build this muscle, this discipline inside you that you can draw. And the Stoics would call this the command of oneself. Seneca says, no one is fit to rule who is not first master of themselves. The greatest empire is command of ourselves.
Confidence is not something you could fake. Arrogance is faked. It's people pretending to be somebody they're not or better than they are because they know they haven't done the reps. See, confident people don't have to walk around telling you they're ready because they look ready. You can just tell they're ready because they've actually gone through the reps and they truly are. Life is the same way as the battlefield. Challenges are coming. And if I do the reps, if I do the hard work before I get to those challenges, I'm going to be confident. And I'm going to be ready for those challenges. Now, I'm not going to go out and actually look for hard things to do. I'm going to try to do what I want to do and meet my goals, but it doesn't have to be harder just to make it feel like I've done more. But if they come, I want to be ready. And I get ready and I gain that confidence by doing the hard work when nobody else is willing to. By doing the hard work after hours. By getting up every single day knowing that if I go through the motions and the reps and the rehearsals, I can be ready and confident when challenges happen. When you do them now and you gain that confidence, that success is going to continue to grow. Go out every single day knowing you're ready for the fight or you're ready for the challenge because you've done the reps and you have the confidence, and let life bring it because you know you're going to win.
We're not able to think. The most powerful weapon in the world, we walk around with it. It's our mind, it's our brain. You have to be able to go into a very dark place in your mind and figure who you are. Go back to what you want to do. What's your purpose? We can't figure our purpose out or why we're here or why we're even born or whatever because it's so loud in our mind. We don't have any quiet time with ourselves to sit back and say, what do I really want? There's so many different dialogues in our head that we can't think. So my biggest thing is you have to be alone in a very dark place in your mind to think about what is important to you.
It says in that manual, it says, other than death, all failure is psychological. Other than death, all failure is psychological. Think about that. Just think about that. This failure, this upset, this catastrophe. If you aren't dead, then it's just psychological. It's in your head. Now, this does not mean that you won't lose some battles, because you will. We all will.
The biggest trophy that I ever got in my entire life was really figuring out me. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about being accepted by your peers and everybody else. It's about figuring out who I am and being happy with who I am. Even though I'm going to be judged for all these things.
Nobody understands you, because how could they? If you spend your whole life trying to be like nobody else, work harder than the average person, care more than anybody else would, what makes you think they'll understand? What you're looking for is rare, and same goes for me. And it might sound like bad news that this understanding you're looking for isn't easy to come by, but that's exactly why you want it. You know you could have the run-of-the-mill life that's easy to get, but it's not fulfilling. So recognize that more value requires more responsibility, and that responsibility is genuinely something to cherish.
If you don't change what you're doing and how you do it, nothing else will change.
So most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. We literally have to become someone else. In other words, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So then the person says, I am insecure. And whenever you say, I am anything, you're commanding your mind and body towards a destiny. So then most people's biology is, for the most part, their past. And so if you're not being defined by the vision of the future, some new possibility in your life, you're only left with the old circuitry in your brain and the old emotions of the past. So the question then is, can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet, but you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the experience has already occurred?
Every single day, you one step closer, and you don't know how many steps away you are from your goal, or from where you want to be. And you know, me personally, I don't want to tell you, don't give up, because it could be a mental switch. That's all you need to whether the next 6 months of your life is gonna be the best 6 months of your life thus far. It's so easy to quit, bro. That's what everyone's doing, and we're not trying to be like everybody else. Always remember that.
Choose just one part of your personality to develop that would virtually guarantee your success. Persistence would be your choice. Napoleon Hill suggested that there may be no heroic connotation to the word persistence, but he said the quality is to the character of the human like what carbon is to steel. Persistence is going to keep you going in the face of almost every obstacle that you can imagine. It is based upon your focus being directed towards the positive polarity in life. You see, it's not difficult to find an individual who's persistently doing what they don't want to do and achieving results they don't want to achieve. A lack of persistence is not their problem. How they're using their persistence is. Ignorance and paradigms are the enemy that we must defeat. Everyone is persistent. Our objective must be to put persistence to work for us rather than against us.
You're not going to hit it out of the park on the first shot. But the crazy thing about how success works is that you only need to win once. That's the crazy part, is you only have to win once. No matter where you're at in your journey, you've just got to believe with all your fucking heart that you're going to make it. Because no one else is going to believe for you.
You need to believe and know that you're one decision, one relationship, one meeting, one book, one thought, one something away from a completely different life. And when you know that, then you begin to look for them.
If I were to leave this earth tomorrow, the one message I want to get across to everybody that sees this is that life is really short. And when you get the opportunity to take a chance and bet on yourself, fucking take it.
And what most people do is when the struggle or the tough season or the adversity comes, they do every and anything to try to get away from it. Anchor down and embrace it. Anchor down and embrace it. And I promise you, the storm will eventually pass. But don't prolong the storm by trying to resist the storm. Put your anchors down, put your feet down, right? Like a tree that has deep roots, and embrace the storm. And eventually it will pass and you will come out a stronger version of yourself.
The biggest misunderstanding about passion is that it isn't something you find or something that just comes to you. It's something you create. Too many of us go our entire lives wondering why we aren't lucky or fortunate enough to have a natural purpose or to naturally be passionate about something when it isn't even a natural thing to begin with. True passion isn't naturally occurring. It only occurs through the action of building it. And that's the irony of it all. True passion, purpose, it's never one specific thing, but it's found through the effort that you give in of itself working towards that thing or anything for that matter. So if you've always felt like you don't have a thing that others do that get them all excited to get out of bed in the morning, then just start working on all different areas of your life and let that love of giving effort fulfill you. Anyone can try, anyone can give it, anyone can invest in the idea of becoming. That's the purpose and passion that you've been searching so long for.
Why don't you think the highest of yourself? We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great.
If you genuinely believe in yourself, you are 75% already there towards your goals. Like you will accomplish them. If you believe yourself, put in the work, it's done.
Nobody can make you successful but you. If you don't believe in you, why should I? If you're not going to invest in you, why should I? You are with you every single day. You know you better than anybody else, but you want someone to invest in you that hasn't spent one moment with you? If you're not willing to do that? Of course you wouldn't. You believe in you.
Be the person that your mum thinks you are, or the person that your younger self wanted as a role model. Brave, courageous, earnest, honest, virtuous, like on fire. There's this quote from the ancient Greeks that says, live as though all your ancestors were living a game through you. I really love that. We judge people based on how much life they can tolerate, how much feeling they can deal with and carry and enjoy. That's something that we should all try and have more of in ourselves, being that person that your younger self wanted as a role model.
What would your life look like if you had the ability to adhere to every single plan, every single dream, every single goal that you have set forth for yourself from the time that you were 10 years old to however you are now? What would your life look like?
Life has a way of testing you. Sometimes it feels like you're caught in a storm that just won't end. The kind of storm that leaves you drenched, battered, and clinging to anything that will keep you afloat. The kind that makes you wonder, how much more of this can I take? Maybe that's where you are right now, right in the middle of it. Maybe it feels like the universe is against you, like every step forward is met with 2 steps back, like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. And when you're in that place, it's easy to think the storm will last forever. But here's the truth. The storm will end. It might not feel like it now. It might not feel like there's even a glimpse of light on the horizon. But storms don't last forever. They can't. And no matter how impossible it feels, no matter how heavy the rain, the sun will rise again. It always does. The question is, how do you keep going until it does? When the storm is raging, you need something to hold on to, something that keeps you grounded when everything else feels like it's falling apart. That anchor could be anything, a goal, a belief, a memory, a purpose. It's not about pretending the storm isn't there. It's about finding something solid within yourself to hold on to when the winds are trying to pull you in every direction. Ask yourself, what am I fighting for? What is worth holding on to? It might be your family, your dreams, your future self, the person you know you're capable of becoming. Whatever it is, let it be your anchor. Let it remind you why you're still standing, why you're still fighting, why you haven't given up.
When life feels impossible, the big picture can be overwhelming. You look at everything you have to face, and it feels like too much, too big, too heavy, too far away. But you don't have to face it all at once. You just have to take the next step. Focus on what you can do right now, in this moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Can you make one phone call? Write one email? Take one step out of bed? Sometimes the smallest steps are the most important because they remind you that you're still moving. They remind you that you're still capable. They remind you that the storm hasn't beaten you yet. This isn't the first storm you faced. It might feel like the hardest, the longest, the darkest. But it's not the first time you've been tested. And if you're still here, that means you've survived every storm before this one. Think back to those moments when you thought you couldn't go on, when the pain felt unbearable, when you doubted whether you had the strength to keep going. And yet, you did. You made it through. You're still standing. Let that be your proof. Proof that you're stronger than you think. Proof that you've faced impossible things before and come out the other side. Proof that you can do it again. One of the hardest things about being in the middle of a storm is the feeling that it will never end. That this is your life now. This chaos, this pain, this struggle. But the storm is not who you are. It's something you're going through. It's not your identity. Accept that the storm is here, but don't let it become you. You are not your struggles. You are not your pain. You are the person who is weathering them, who is standing tall in the face of them, who is learning, growing, and becoming because of them.
Even in the darkest storms, there are glimmers of light. Maybe it's a kind word from a stranger. Maybe it's a moment of laughter with someone you love. Maybe it's the simple fact that you woke up this morning and decided to try again. Those small lights might seem insignificant, but they matter. They're reminders that the storm hasn't taken everything, that there's still good in the world, still hope, still something worth fighting for. Look for those lights. Hold on to them. Let them guide you forward. Storms are destructive, yes, but they're also transformative. They tear down what's weak, what's unstable, what wasn't meant to last, and they leave you with the raw materials to build something stronger, something better. This storm you're in, it's shaping you. It's teaching you resilience, patience, courage. It's showing you what you're capable of, what you can endure, what you can overcome. And when it's over, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more grounded than you ever thought possible. This is the most important thing to remember. The storm is temporary. The pain you're feeling, the struggle you're facing, it won't last forever. It might feel endless now, but every storm runs out of rain. Every night gives way to morning.
When the sun rises again, and it will, you'll look back on this time and realize that it didn't break you. It tested you, yes. It challenged you, pushed you to your limits. But it didn't break you. It made you. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you face it. You can choose to let it consume you, or you can choose to let it refine you. You can choose to give up, or you can choose to fight for the life you know you're capable of living. The storm will end, the sun will rise, and when it does, you'll be standing there, stronger, braver, and more alive than ever before. Keep going. You've got this.
A lot of people are unclear what they want from life. They don't sit down and think through. We are writing our own life story every day, and yet we don't think about it. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to live? What life do we want to lead? When we've finished our life, come to the end of our life and look back, what do we want to say that we've done? What do you want is a very powerful question. It says, I want to be the best, but fine. You've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder. You've got to commit more. You've got to take more responsibility. You've got to deal with more ups and downs. And if we can deal with that question, how much are you willing to suffer? How badly do you want it?
There is power in a number, even if it's just one. If you find yourself walking alone without support, it is not because you've been abandoned. It is because you've chosen to go the narrow route of life. The narrow route of life means that you're willing to go where others will not. And what you'll find is that people will tell you, no, don't go, until someone notices that you're making headway. And then all of a sudden, you make a way for them. Now there's two. But if you continue to go, you'll find that the crowd increases because you're going against the crease. You're making a way out of no way. You are a trailblazer. You are an impact person. You are a person with dreams and aspirations, and you'll look up and you'll see there's three. Then all of a sudden, here comes a community. You see, leaders will go alone for only a while before people notice there's something different about you. Stay different, stay engaged, stay so totally focused on your dreams that you purify them. By purify them, it means you have to go through fire. And if you find yourself nearly losing absolutely everything, you know that you're down to your second win. And if you ever get that, you're destined to win. Don't ever throw in the towel. Use it to leave trails behind for others to follow, because you're a leader.
The most important thing I have found in people that I see as being very successful is a relentless desire to win. You see, the word relentless means that there is nothing that's going to get into their way that's going to keep them from getting up the next day and going after that dream or going after that goal. They have a relentless spirit that when life knocks them down, when they're getting tested on their journey to get to that goal or whatever that prize is, when they're getting knocked down, that relentless spirit gets them back up. You see, they understand that you have to be tested before you can provide testament. You have to actually be challenged along the way so that when you get to the victory, you can turn around and help people understand how you got there, actually train them and coach them on doing the same thing. You want to be tested. But if you're going to get through that, you have to have that relentless desire to win. The relentless desire to win will get you through those things. It will get you up every single time that you get knocked down. People are going to criticize you along the way. They're going to tell you why you can't get there. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough money. You don't have the tools or the skills or whatever it is. People are going to criticize you along the way and tell you that. You see, their opinion or their inability to see you winning is not your problem. Use that relentless spirit, and it's not something you're born with. You can gain that relentless spirit. It's a choice. Every single day, do I get up and I go after it again today, or do I sit back and complain about being tested? Now, the relentless spirit takes that test and turns it into testimony. They see that critic as a person that doesn't matter unless they also would take their advice. They drive forward every single day and relentlessly pursue the person they know that they can be. Find that relentless spirit in your dreams.
The kite represents your dreams, your goals, your desired results, your projected outcome. The wind represents an opposition in all things, lack of capital, negative family members, and bad influence from your friends, people who say, "Ah, get your head out of the clouds, stop dreaming." Whatever that opposition in all things is a reality.
Most people don't go and they don't chase their dreams because the people around them tell them shit that just isn't true. Hey, be realistic. What do you think you're going to do? Become J.K. Rowling? You had a great career. You need to be thankful. Don't forget where you came from, right? We hear all this shit every day from a bunch of losers, and it gets in our heart and our mind, and it causes us to hesitate. So your goal here is to realize that we only have one existence, we only have one opportunity, and you need to ask yourself, what are you going to value at the end of your life? Are you going to value the work that you did? Are you going to value the things that you created? Or are you going to value doing what everybody else expected of you?
If I'd have allowed conformists to project their small thinking onto my life, it's almost terrifying to think about where I would be in my life right now. Peace is really finally understanding who you are and whose you are. And so you're not a conformist. That's what cowards do. Prosperity is a birthright of yours. I don't just mean wealth. Prosperity is a right to feel prosperous, to feel as if you're growing, to feel as if you're expanding. And when you are tapping into those parts of you and changing the way you behave, you're going to begin to like you a lot more. You're going to begin to love you a lot more. We do not attract into our lives what we really desire. We attract into our lives who and what we are. And long term, human beings find a way to be consistent about what they believe about themselves. You can have a new identity at any time you want in your life. You were born to do something great with your life, and it already exists within you.
Imagine if I told you right now, you are 24 no's away from having $1 billion company. How excited would you be to get your first no? How fast would you want to get your second no? There's only so many no's in between you and what you want.
If you turned on the news to see that an asteroid would wipe out Earth in 12 hours, and there wasn't a thing you can do about it, what would you do? Of course, it would be reasonable to panic at first. But I mean, after some time, would you continue to be in denial, running around frantically, searching for a solution that simply didn't exist? Or would you accept it, break out a chair, head to a spot with a nice view, play your favorite song, and watch it all unfold? Acceptance is a beautiful thing, you know? It allows you to see the beauty in things, even amid the chaos. Many of us spend our days in distress, worrying about what is simply out of our control. You carry the weight of the world on your back, anxious, almost in a state of paranoia, and it is taking away your ability to truly enjoy life, when really, whether you worry or not, the outcome is not affected. So you might as well find a sense of comfort in the fact that whatever your asteroid is beyond your reach. And it's funny, when you do that, it allows you to actually focus on the things that are your health, your profession, your passions. We so easily lose sight of these things when what's out there is weighing on our mind. We cannot have that, because our vision, our goals and aspirations, our family, our future wife or husband and children, and the generations to come after them are affected by the decisions that we make today. Therefore, it is essential that we are able to accept what is beyond our reach and bring our focus and attention to what is. Enjoy this experience, my friend. Do away with the mental burden. Hell, even smile when it all goes wrong.
How you handle that dark forest, how you handle that dark moment determines everything. And you want to know the people that go from good to great to unstoppable? They didn't run from that dark moment. They don't think about that dark moment as they get older, but they never forget. Mm-hmm. And when you never forget, that internal fire never goes out. It never goes out.
The Stoic philosopher is the man who has liberated himself from fear. He's not afraid of death. He's not afraid of pain. He's not afraid of other people's dismissal as a fool. The only thing he cares about is that he should meet his moral obligations. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said that greatness is the perception that virtue is enough, which is an elegant and beautiful line, because all of the Stoics basically believe that. Virtue, moral virtue, an organized soul which pursues rationally the ends which are good for all human beings. They finally understand their greatness consists in the fact that they perceive that virtue is enough. We do not need wealth. We do not need life itself. If moral virtue tells us that we must die in the pursuit of some good end, the protection of our family, the protection of our home, the protection of the innocent, in the doing of right, nothing should be spared, not even our lives.
You said I was ready. You are. Ready for what? To face yourself. I've done that already. You've only glanced at the reflection, never stepped through the mirror and what's on the other side. Everything you've buried, waiting to be seen. What if I don't like what I find? You won't. But that does not change its existence. I'm afraid. Okay? I know. Fear has shaped you, chained you, defined you. But it is not your prison. What else would it be? A key.
You're much better than you think you are, and you need to remember that most of the doubt and most of the things that you struggle with were installed in you by people around you who have already given up on what their life could have been, and they want you to do so as well because it makes them feel more comfortable about their mediocre existence. You don't really have limits. You have what you have been told your limits are, and you have chosen to believe that those are your limits, and that's why you have this problem going for the things you really want and instead going for the things that are more realistic.
If you want the future to change for you, you've got to change. If you don't change, the next 6 years of your life is going to be just like the last 6. You'll still be behind on your bills. You'll still be behind on your promises. If you will change, everything will change for you. If you will get better, everything will get better for you. If you'll change your philosophy, if you'll change your habits, if you'll refine your thinking, if you'll change and accept some new disciplines, if you'll turn the corner where you've been in the past, go for a new life for the future, all kinds of remarkable things will happen for you if you will change.
I didn't fail, I fell. And as long as I get up, I win.
The man who never fell has no glory. The man who fell and got back up, that's where his glory is.
Failure is part of the formula for success. So you learn, you make mistakes, you get better, you make more advanced mistakes.
As long as you get up, you win. The winning isn't getting up. So many people think they failed. They didn't fail.
They stopped.
You stopped.
The man who fell 20 times and got up 21 times, that man has even greater glory.
Wow.
That man has more courage, way more courage than the guy who was so strong from birth that he never failed. There's no glory in that.
Fail as much as humanly possible.
Don't be afraid of failing, because there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to fail in order to climb that ladder.
You're gonna die never even trying to reach your full potential. And how's that gonna feel? If you wrote a book right now about your life and you gave it to someone, would it change their life for the better? If not, you gotta get to work.
Just don't quit today. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Whatever we got to do tomorrow, just don't quit today. Little step. Tiny step. Tomorrow. What are we going to do? Well, I don't know, but I'm not going to do that today. Just today. All right? Just make one good decision today.
When you go to sleep at night, think about your goals for the coming day. Make a list for each day of all the goals, the little goals you're going to accomplish that day. Keep a journal and write down your goals on a regular basis. When you're driving through the day, think about your goals. when you're talking to other people. Think about your goals. You see, you do become what you think about most of the time. You do achieve what you think about most of the time. So all successful people think about their goals most of the time.
You will never feel ready to do things that scare you. You will never feel ready to jump off the cliff. You will never feel ready to take that leap. Your brain is designed to protect you, and change requires risk. And so you are protecting yourself by saying maybe tomorrow. If you want to change your life, you must make a decision to change your life.
It takes power. It takes effort. It takes discipline to break the old you, to break those habits, to break free of the chains that have been holding you back. That's where it takes the most effort. And then once you climb up and you start to get altitude, you start to get elevation, gravity becomes weaker. Your old, weaker self doesn't have the same influence that it had.
It's easy to want it. It's easy to think about it. It's easy to dream about it. It's easy to tell people you're going to do it. What's hard is getting up in the morning and doing it. What's hard is doing it when all your friends are telling you not to do it. What's hard is having everything in your life tell you that you should pull the plug on what you're doing right now and go get a normal job like everyone else, go be like everyone else, go live the life that everyone else wants you to live, but showing up anyway. That's what's hard. But that's what's actually going to get you where you want to go.
Most people never succeed in life because they're waiting for conditions to be perfect. They're waiting for the sun to shine, the temperature to be right, all the stars to align. And I'm here to tell you guys that will never happen. Conditions will never be perfect. Things will never align. There will always be a reason for you to put off what should be done right now for a later time. That is a success and life truth.
A warrior is sent. A warrior has or feels the obligation. If something is out of balance out there, I'm gonna fix it. Or you try. And if you try and you fail, you try harder next time. But you don't give up.
Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Good question. What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same. And see, that way you can guess what the next 5 years are gonna be like. Look at the last 5. Because the next 5 are going to be like the last 5 unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change a little, or change something, or don't change. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want.
But that hardest part of changing is breaking that gravitational force in the beginning. The stationary inertia of habit that's been controlling you for 7, 10, 15 years. Leave your weak old self behind and go get after it.
Everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you can go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen, no way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up, no matter what.
My view is like, you can't control the outcome all the time. Sometimes it should go the other people's way. It shouldn't always go your way. So you get motivated by the losses, you stay motivated through the winning. What you can control is your process. You can control those intangibles. You can control the work ethic, the consistent discipline, your attitude, your culture, how much you care. All those things are in you. They just need to be drawn out of you.
There are going to be days where you get up and you do exactly what you're supposed to do and you work as hard as you possibly can and nothing happens. And on that day, you're going to feel like you're wasting your effort. You're going to feel like you're wasting your time. On that day, you're going to wonder why you're even doing this. But on that day, you're going to promise yourself that you're going to do it again tomorrow. And when tomorrow arrives and the same thing happens, you're going to promise yourself that you're going to do it again the next day. If you keep doing that, one of those days, something's going to happen. So keep showing up. Keep doing the work and trust that one day it's going to lead to what you want. Because if you do the work, it will.
If you will change, everything will change for you. If you will get better, everything will get better for you. If you'll change your philosophy, you'll change your habits. If you'll refine your thinking, if you'll change and accept some new disciplines, if you'll turn the corner where you've been in the past, go for a new life for the future, all kinds of remarkable things will happen for you if you will change.
You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt.
A lot of people sit back and they dream about being a sports figure, or dream about being a SEAL, or dream about being an astronaut, and all it is a motherfucking dream. They don't put the work behind the dream. That dream has become their master. When you become the master of your freaking dream, the dream was the one thing I thought about, and the dream was now gone. Now, what comes in, the dream goes away, and the laundry list of details and tasks come up. Gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. That's when you become the master of your dream. So, a lot of people out there dreaming.
When you spend your life looking for scapegoats, you take away your own responsibility. You remove your own power. You steal your own strength. Nobody who has chosen the easy path of hate has gotten to the end of that road and said, "Oh, what a life." No. They die as miserably as they lived. No matter how far you've gone, I want you to know that you still have the chance to choose a life of strength.
Every day, stand guard at the door of your mind. How important. Stand guard at the door of your mind.
It is easy to be motivated to succeed in the beginning of an endeavor and when you are close to the end. The most difficult part, and the part where people quit, is when they are in the thick of it, and it is unclear whether they have the strength and stamina to make it the rest of the way. Inner monologue, rationalizing why it is okay to quit or to not push myself to the goal that I have written down on paper. The hardest part of working toward a goal is when we are either making slow progress or negative progress, and having the patience and confidence to know that the improvements we make over the long periods, as opposed to the short periods, are what matter. Milestones are what remind us that we are making progress, even if it isn't apparent every day.
A quote that has helped me immeasurably is a boy and a horse are in the woods. And the boy says to the horse, "I can't see a way through." And the horse says, "Can you see your next step?" And the boy says, "Yeah." And the horse says, "Then just take that." All of the time, we look at the goal, we look at the future, we look at the end game, we look at how long a journey it is, and we feel overwhelmed. With each step, you will get closer to that. All I need to focus on right now is my next step.
You know the war that you have to really fight is the war against yourself. You have to fight a war against yourself. Now, it's not easy to look in the mirror and to change your own life. It's hard as hell. You have to take responsibility. You have to learn new things. You have to feel uncomfortable. Good, because discomfort is how we grow. That's how we become strong. If you run away from discomfort and resistance your whole life, you will always be weak.
pretend there's a documentary crew filming your success story and they're following you around right now, what would you do? What would you do if you knew that there was a crew following you around with cameras documenting your future incredible success and they want to catch you in the act of it all? You would do all the right things you would have to do. Think about that, organize it.
So one of the things, in order to make this your decade, in order to reach your goals, you've got to find some reasons that make you strong, some reasons that will make you hang in there when times get rough, because they're going to get rough. It's going to be very challenging. Whenever you decide that you want to grow, whenever you decide that you want to go to another level, all hell will break loose. Everything that will happen, the that can happen, will happen, and at the worst possible moment. They call it Murphy's Law. See, whenever you decide you want to go to another level, you've got to fasten your psychological, your mental, and your spiritual seatbelt, because it's going to be a while before you experience a comfortable altitude.
My biggest fear in life is that there is a final resting place in this world, and there's a final judgment, and you talk to something much bigger than you. I don't want to sit down and have a conversation with someone that says, you're in heaven, this is what you should have been on earth. I want God to be up there right now as we're speaking, writing stuff down, saying, my God, he exceeded even my expectations. That's how I live my life. I now know that there is no cap on the human mind. There's no cap. We cap it ourselves.
You can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life.
I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible. The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk?
What's the secret to happiness? I always say one word: progress. Progress equals happiness. If you ever achieved a goal and then went, is this all there is? You know it's not getting it. Well, you may have achieved a goal and you were thrilled. How long were you happy for? A year? 9 months? 6 months? 3 weeks? Because we're not made to just sit here and be satisfied. Everything in the universe grows or dies. Everything in the universe either contributes or is eliminated. So when you're making progress, you feel alive.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile. And for many of you, this is your chance. This is your shot. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your opportunity. This is your place for you to really begin to live an intentional life.
Ask yourself this question: is this action going to make me stronger or weaker? Will this action move me toward the strategic long-term goals I am trying to achieve in my life? And do not lie to yourself.
When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person that walked into it. That's what the storm is all about. When you can't control what's happening to you, control how you respond to it. That's where your power is.
You've just gone through a breakup, and it's the worst thing you've ever been through. Some of you lost your job, and you thought that job was it. And so all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're thinking, man, I thought my life was together, now it's in shambles at my feet. No, it's not. It's all right. A blade does not become strong until it's been through the fire.
Everyone sets goals in life. It's what we do. But what separates us is that some of them will turn it into a dream that can never come true. But some of us, the 5% that are willing to go beyond the norm, will turn the dream until it becomes a reality. And when it finally does come true, you know what we do? We simply begin to dream other dreams.
Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. So whatever is in your imagination, God places the life He has for you in your imagination. Because your imagination is God showing you a preview of a coming attraction He has for you.
You've got a lot more forge time left. You've got a lot more hammer blows left. And it takes time. Embrace the process. You say, Dwayne, what process? Life. Embrace the journey and the process of life.
The price of regret is much heavier than the price of discipline. You never want to wake up one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year down the road and go, man, I wish I would have listened to my gut. I wish I would have done this thing. You don't want to live in regret. If there's something you want to get done in work, your relationships, school, whatever it is, do it.
I don't give a damn where you're from or whatever. It's about building your own mentality, being your own hero, being the best person you can be so you're not putting people above you. The worst thing you can ever do in life is put people above you. Because what happens there is you believe you can't reach that. You must believe that you're on a level playing field with every person in the world. And that starts with mentality. It always keeps you in the game, it keeps you in the fight, it keeps you in the battle, it keeps you moving forward.
When you have something you want to do, if you don't develop the courage to do that which has been given you to do, and you spend a lot of time going around trying to convince other people or trying to get their approval, what will happen is that you will lose your nerve. And other people will convince you that what you're doing doesn't have any value, and you'll give up on your dream. It's an interesting thing about life, I've also found, that if you don't have the courage to act, sometimes, and particularly, if you have something special to do, life will move on you.
So the answer is very simple. After you've achieved a goal, do you stop? No. You get up and you go again. Dream bigger, dream wider, dream louder, dream more affirmative. Dream so that it is so loud that others can hear it and it wakes them up as well. Just keep pursuing all your dreams, no matter how wild they may seem. You have to have a goal in life, and our dreams are that goal.
But it's gonna be some things that you gonna hit in life. I promise you. It ain't gonna matter how much money in the bank. I promise you. It ain't gonna matter what type of shoes you got on. I promise you. It ain't gonna matter the square footage of your house. It ain't gonna matter. I promise you.
If you learn to overcome fear, when you face fear, it leaves you. Face the thing you fear, and it'll leave you. That's really the secret of it. In fact, if you hold yourself back because of fear, your life actually comes to a stop, because nothing gets better than it is.
Like when you go to sleep, what do? You pretend to be asleep, and then you fall asleep. Becoming who it is that you want to be is no different. When you decide who you want to be, like today, you have to realize that that's who you were, okay? And so for you to become who you want to be, you don't just become that. You have to start behaving as if you are that, and then eventually you will actually materialize into that.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Don't have time to regret. We move on, because we are acceptable for what we are, not what we think we should be.
Realizing that even if you failed, you've had divorces, you've had breakups, you've had separation of a job, you've had injuries, you've had health issues. But now that you've battled back, and even if you lost absolutely everything, you have all those experiences now behind your back. And that is the thing that will push you forward. That and your trust and faith that God will never give you more than what you can handle. And now that you have a handle on those things, you put a handle on your dreams. Grab them and bring them into focus.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Your imagination is the evidence of things not seen. The problem with your imagination is you tell it to the wrong people.
You got to keep dreaming. And then turn those dreams into a reality.